Welcome to the new TMZ Live, where we bring you inside our newsroom as our staff chases down today's stories in real time.
Welcome to TMZ Live, and George Floyd's name has come up in hip-hop. And it is not sitting well with some people very close to George Floyd, because the reference is a very odd one from Lil Yachty, who is not a rapper, quite frankly, who's known for lots of controversial lyrics. But he was streaming a new song. He was on a live stream last night, playing some new music with friends. Now, this is an unreleased song. We don't even know if he's planning to put this on an album or not, but it's something he's recorded and wanted to play it for his friends and obviously anybody else watching this stream. And there's a lyric that refers to George Floyd that, well, here it is, and then we're gonna talk to George Floyd's brother, but also some of his close friends are also very upset about this.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. I see that finna go break the bank for it. Put my knee up on her neck. I went George Floyd.
I put my knee up on her neck. I went George Floyd. Obviously referring to the murder of George Floyd under the knee of Derek Chauvin. And I just don't get it. I be quite frank, I don't get it. And Yachty is not one of these artists who usually just says something just to get attention. Kind of upsetting to a lot of people, most notably George Floyd's close friend, Steven Jackson, former NBA player, who was front and center at all the George Floyd memorials, spoke out a lot in the months right after George Floyd's death.
Yeah.
But he heard about this, and Steven Jackson not happy.
Lil Yachty, bro. You've been whack. But you think you saying George Floyd name and trying to use his name in a bar that's gonna make people like your whack music? Y'all the only era that feel like demeaning the dead and saying that is cool, man. It ain't. And it's me and the whole Third Ward and the whole Houston, Texas riding behind G, man. Don't ever say his name, bro. None of y'all knew G. Nothing about him. But y'all want to say his name for clout. Put his knee up on I do George. That's some weak Yachty. But let somebody die in your family. We gonna do a whole skit about it and see how funny it is, bro.
I mean, he is.
He is. They knew each other, I think, as teenagers, Charles. They literally grew up playing basketball together, and they called each other twin because I guess they resembled each other, and they were really close.
So I just don't know. I wish, and by the way, we reached out to Yachty and his people. We have not heard back from them.
Yeah.
Is it just, you could say it was something he was trying out?
Right.
And maybe the song never comes out now because he's seen the reaction.
Right. I know. Did he know? I'm trying to figure out, did he know that this was going to get a lot of attention, and is that why he did it? Or did he think it was a throwaway line that nobody would pay any attention to? And obviously that's not been the case.
Yeah, definitely not the case. And why play that particular song on a live stream? It's one thing if he just did it in a room with his friends and say, what do you guys think?
Right. Nobody even knew this song existed.
But exactly. No one knows the song existed. And if you want to try it out, play it to your friends. Right. But know the circumstances of his murder, and now they are upset about this. And at some point, I would think Yachty is going to have to respond.
Hi, my name is Alicia Scott from Chicago, Illinois. And with this, I agree with everyone else. Nobody thinks this is okay except for Lil Yachty. Honestly, the George Floyd situation was something that affected African Americans so much, and till this day still does. So if he wanted to use George's name in anything, it should have been in defense, like trying to bring up his name. But you're referring to his death as something that you would do to a woman. Like, that's supposed to be seen as cool. And I also think he felt very comfortable doing that with the people he was around. But anybody else, I don't know. It just seems very fake and very for the clip. But this isn't something that is a clip-worthy moment. Yeah,
and it's also, I thought, interesting, the reaction or lack of reaction from anybody in the room. I don't want to speak for them, can't tell if they actually heard the line and understood what was being said. But this is, like we said, you've already heard what his friend thinks about it, but now we're going to speak to his brother Terrence, George Floyd's brother, Terrence Floyd, joining us now. How are you doing, man? And what was your reaction when you heard this clip from Yachty?
I got a few direct messages on Instagram with the link, and I heard it, and I said, "Here we go again." Like it's always something, you know. And what I feel about that is the people just gotta be careful what they say. You know what I'm saying? They gotta watch what they say and watch what they don't say, because these situations like this with my family and other families is a very sensitive topic. And even though we talk about unity and peace, you know what I'm saying, it still hurts. It still hurts, and it still upsets us.
I would imagine so, Terrence. As we were talking about this, we were talking about how the family reacted to this. I'm wondering if you know, like, even how George's daughter, who knows, she may even be a Lil Yachty fan, and then for this clip to come out, I would just imagine it's just got to be really upsetting, and especially because Yachty is not that kind of guy typically, and most of the references we've heard to George in hip hop have been sympathetic, have been
Right.
Reverential to him, and this just isn't that.
Right. It's just it sounds like just a line, just something that he threw in there just to make it sound good. But as I've known throughout my years of living, everything that sounds good in your head don't always sound good.
Yeah, doesn't always sound good out in the real world. You start
Right.
it in your head. If you had a chance to speak to Yachty, and I don't know if you or anybody else in the family is trying to reach out to him, what would you say to him?
I would tell him the same thing. My father, may he rest in peace, he used to tell me growing up: pay attention to your history, pay attention to your current events. You know, because there's a lot of people that I see in 2020 and 2021, they were, you know, all up in arms about, you know, fighting and protesting for my brother. And so the youth now, whether they're rapping about it or speaking about it, they really don't understand what it was. What's really going on, and they just forgetting about it. So I just say, pay attention to your history, your current events, and understand your culture, man. Understand what's going on in your culture, because my brother really, really impacted the culture.
Yeah, and I will say that I know what you're saying about younger rappers, and maybe they don't know, but Lil Yachty is not that young. He was very much aware of what was going on 5 years ago. Will you make an attempt to reach out to him?
I've gotten calls from people saying, "Do you want to?" You know, but it's just such a immediate shock. So I wasn't even thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then when I saw Steven Jackson's response, I kind of fell back, because once he says something, then people seem to correct themselves.
Yeah, and the reason I say this is because the song is unreleased. It's not actually out. He was just having basically a listening party with friends, and it was streaming online.
Right.
So there's still a chance that someone could convince him to make sure that he does not release the song, at least not with that line in it.
Right, and that's the reason why myself and Steven Jackson and other people are speaking out, because we're not having that. No.
Yeah.
We're not having that.
All right. Well, Terrence, thank you so much for joining us, man. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
If ever there was a case of black don't crack, Halle Berry is it, because she celebrated her 59th birthday yesterday, and you're about to see where she celebrated. That's it. This isn't really about where she celebrated. It's how she celebrated, and the fact that she took time out of her celebration to respond to her ex-husband, David Justice, who we told you about this, that he was on a podcast. He was on the All the Smoke podcast, and was talking about his time when he and Halle were together, talking about why it didn't work out. This is what he said, and then we're going to show you how Halle is responding.
Looking at my mom And I'm a Midwest guy, so in my mind, I'm thinking a wife at that time should cook, clean.
Traditional.
You know, and then I'm thinking, okay, if we have kids, you know, is this the woman I want to have kids with and build a family with? And at that time, as a young guy, she don't cook, don't clean, don't really seem like motherly.
Wow. Now, I think he was saying that at that time, and hopefully he's sort of evolved on that, but Halle Berry heard about that, and so she is with her boyfriend. I think they're in Bora Bora, but she decided to post a bunch of photos from her birthday trip with a very simple caption. Phew. Cooking, cleaning, and mothering. And
it's a great post for her to come back with, and she looks incredible in all these photos that she posted.
there was a photo that she showed.
And it said mom with some hearts around it,
Right.
and there was a cake because she was celebrating.
A birthday card from her
Yes.
from her kids.
But you know what I love about why David said this? She was in 14 shows throughout like their marriage and 14 movies. So it's not like she wasn't doing anything. She was working, she was making millions, she was providing in a different way. David, why weren't you cleaning? Why weren't you cooking? Were you in 14 shows like during your time in
He
your
was
marriage?
playing baseball.
Come on, but
No,
he
I know.
wasn't like
It's absurd.
expecting it. It is absurd, and she was in some of like the biggest ones then, so it's very unfair. But I love that she can have like fun with it, and she looks very happy now celebrating with Van, who's a very lucky man, I must say.
This is Tariana McClain reporting from West Memphis, Arkansas. And yeah, I'm glad that she responded to basically let him know like she saw it, but she was too busy being an award-winning actress back then. Like now maybe she is cooking, cleaning, and mothering a lot more.
Yes, she's doing just fine. Although, by the way, that photo we showed of David Justice and Halle Berry when they were together, talk about a good-looking couple. You know?
They were.
Just goes to show you, you can't just go like, oh, they're really good looking together.
They're happy. It's gonna last. No.
Yeah, it's not all about looks.
Coming up.
Well, the run for governor in South Carolina just got really, really interesting because the Democratic candidate was arrested back in May. And you're going to hear some foul language here that we've had to bleep. But one of the words that he's using is the N-word.
Be right back.
Well, the run for governor in South Carolina just got really, really interesting because the Democratic candidate was arrested back in May. And now we're about to show you some of these police dash cam videos that have come out. And don't ask me, somehow this is how omnipresent Taylor Swift is these days. That she even figures in, or her music played a starring role, a co-starring role when William McLeod, goes by Mullins McLeod, was arrested back in May. So there are people in the Democratic Party who are calling for him to drop out of the race. And the reason is because of this video. So you're going to hear some foul language here that we've had to bleep. But one of the words that he's using is the N-word. And he was on a rant in the backseat of this police car.
What's your name?
It doesn't matter, my friend. Trust me, I'm one of the most just humans to ever walk.
Okay, just
this
human.
soil.
Tell me your name.
I'm just human.
Okay, well, we tried. We've all tried.
I tell you what, you got to give me a name. Give me Superman sounds good. I'm Superman. John
Doe.
No, you know what, John Doe's fine.
Okay.
John Doe's fine. I don't give a
All right.
Just get these shackles off of me.
So
you call me whatever you want to. I don't care.
Okay.
Just get it off of me and get me out of this car. My name doesn't matter. Well, let me tell you something. When I'm governor, I'm not getting out of this car. I'm not doing it.
Why not?
Because it's time to go to bed. It's time to go. It's fine. Let me out. You better have a memo for him explaining in my plain, broken, redneck copy language, folks, why you stupid, okay? At this point in the story, why you thought he was on the moon and Andrew Chisholm was well, guess what? When I'm done, Andrew Chisholm, is gonna be on the moon.
It's upsetting to watch, Charles. The guy sounds like he's going through it. If this
He's
were
clearly
just
going through something.
If this were just a drunken episode, he is shirtless. They also said he was only wearing boxers when he gets out. it seems like a mental health episode, and that's why I think the Democratic Party is saying you've got to step away and deal with these serious issues. He would be very vulnerable in a race against an opponent with this kind of video out there, and they're saying you just can't recover from this, and I think they're probably right as a practical matter.
You would think so. However, McLeod is saying he is staying in this race. He actually posted a video where he said, look, I told you that they were going to come for me, that the Republicans, that they were going to try and get me out of this race. And I hear him on that. That's a political thing that politicians of both parties say, oh, the other party's going to come for me. They're going to. But this clearly happened. And by the way, there's like 40 minutes of video in this interaction that he had with police where he's just saying these outrageous things. Like you hear him talking about going on the moon. You hear him talking about, I would never want to be a billionaire. And he makes references to Elon Musk. And he calls Trump a racist. He's clearly going through something. And now, it used to be in American politics, something like this happens, you immediately you're like, you're out. That's not where we are in American politics now. You can have something like this happen and lean into it and blame the other side.
You're exactly right. It's not disqualifying anymore. We're in a different era of politics, and he knows he has some leverage. That's why he says, I'm sticking in it, because he is popular. And he's saying, I'm not going anywhere, so that's a threat to fracture the party, saying, if you don't back me, I'm going to maybe be an independent or something like that. This is just so far out of bounds. It's different than sort of Trump ranting about things to me. This looks like someone going through it.
Tristan Burley, Pasco, Washington. When someone is running for office, you need to be able to set an example for the Americans in your community. And when you're spouting off just crazy nonsense, hateful comments and just hurling insults, that's not something that a candidate should be doing, let alone anyone. This is definitely going to hurt his campaign. I don't see him coming back from this at all. Who knows what's going to be in the future for him, because I can't imagine him running a state and having one of these episodes. Who knows what he would do to his own community?
Yeah. He's, for now, saying he's sticking in, although he's having a news conference later today, right?
Later today. But we just got an update from the police on this. As you know, the police wrote in their initial police report that they believed he was on drugs. We had our producer go back to the police and ask him if they tested him. The police did not test
for drugs to see if they did not blood
test him.
Right.
Right, exactly, for drugs, because they responded. They say they responded to a disturbance, so it didn't merit testing him for drugs. But
the weird thing is, I'm not sure what's better for him, honestly, Charles. If he had one episode where he was inebriated or on some sort of drugs, you can sort of spin it as I was just under the influence and I had a bad night. If it's not that, it's different, and it sort of calls into question whether you can be governor at all.
Right. This is wild. It's just crazy that he is, I shouldn't use the word crazy, but just interesting that he is not immediately bowing out of this. Chalk up another win for Diddy. And this is in one of the civil cases. So, of course, what happened in the criminal trial. He's still awaiting his sentencing in October. But in the meantime, he's starting to deal with this mountain of civil lawsuits that he's facing. And this one that had been filed by a woman named Sarah Rivers who was on Making the Band, and she had leveled dozens of allegations against him.
Assault, battery, false imprisonment, you name it. It was in the...
tons of things in this lawsuit. And now a judge has thrown out almost all, and maybe it may end up being all of the claims that were brought in this lawsuit.
On Diddy's side, they claim that all 22 claims were thrown out, okay? But if you read the paperwork, it seems to indicate that 21 out of the 22 claims were thrown out, and count 15, which pertains to...
It's the gender violence law in New York, right?
Right. It is still pending.
Right, they're waiting for a ruling from an appeals court, Then the judge says, then I will decide what to do about the gender violence.
But the language is strange. What Diddy's people are saying is that it's been tossed. However, the judge hasn't ruled whether or not it's with prejudice or without prejudice.
The big thing here is, and we'll find out from the judge eventually, what happens with that one count. This is just, he keeps winning these things. And you got to remember, yes, he was convicted in the criminal trial, but of the two lesser counts, the Mann Act counts, and he'll find out what his sentence is. But as soon as the criminal trial was over, how many civil cases have been filed?
There were dozens. And I mean, most of them are from Tony Busby, who we should say is.
This one is not Tony Busby, though.
No, this is Ariel Mitchell.
But not coming up a winner in this one, Ariel is. But Diddy has had a pretty good streak when it comes to these cases. It will be interesting to see how the rest of them play out. This one, I'm really surprised because there were so many claims. This is why we always say when we report these, we say, look, these are just the allegations that are laid out in a lawsuit. We don't know which way, we don't know what happened. We weren't there. And clearly what the judge saw here was not enough to go forward in this case.
Hi, I'm Rebecca from Alabama. As a paralegal, I completely understand why the case was dismissed, but it's still extremely frustrating to see the whole case get tossed because of a technicality like statute of limitations. I think personally that he did some, if not all of the things that she's alleging in her complaint. And I think we just really need to remember that just because the case was dismissed does not mean that he's not guilty. I mean, don't we all know that Diddy did it, allegedly?
See, but you had to put the allegedly on the end there. Yeah, I mean, look, there's the court of law, and that's what we're supposed to operate under. But when people disagree with the outcome, they can still have their opinions about what happened. It's just that legally, in this particular case, he is not guilty.
Coming up.
Brian Kohberger is not transitioning well into what is going to be the rest of his life. He got life in prison without possibility of parole and is already complaining that he is being threatened by other inmates.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
BB Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too.
Did you just say, look at the water? I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at.
TMZ!
Brian Kohberger is not transitioning well into what is going to be the rest of his life. You know, of course, that he struck a plea deal for the murder of the Idaho students, and that plea deal means that he is going to spend the rest of his life in prison. He got life in prison without possibility of parole, which was the sort of, you know, some people would say that he chose that option as opposed to going to trial where he could have gotten the death penalty. So now he is just a few weeks into that sentence and is already complaining that he is being threatened by other inmates. Actually sent notice to the judge that he's fearing for his life. The response is not very, I'm going to say, sympathetic. Basically,
I mean, the
judge said, get over.
Well, he's in solitary confinement. So it isn't the judge, it was the IDOC.
Sorry, yes.
The IDOC responded to this report.
The Idaho Department of Corrections.
Yes, he had been complaining that he's being taunted. And they essentially said, yes, we're aware of his complaints about the alleged taunting.
The language they use is incarcerated individuals commonly communicate with each other in prison. Brian Kohberger is housed alone in a cell, and IDOC security staff maintain a safe and orderly environment for all individuals in our custody.
So basically, stop complaining, right?
Stop your whining.
I don't think anyone has any sympathy for Brian Kohberger.
No one's going to have sympathy for Brian Kohberger. Now, that is to say, all inmates are, you know, they are still human beings, and they should be treated with some. They should be protected and treated with some dignity. But it sounds to me like they may be saying things to him. They may be calling him names, and
you shouldn't have killed 4 people, man.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, like get over it is what the Department of Corrections is saying. You're going to be here for quite some time, so please pipe down with these little complaints like this. There's some footage of him. I know we've shown some of this where you see him in a jail cell. We do not believe this is his current cell at the prison where he's going to be serving out his term. That cell that you see in that video is a little too big. It's probably when he was in county being held before his trial, or when he was awaiting trial that never happened. So just going to have to get used to it.
Hi, my name is Annabelle. I'm from Georgia, and yeah, this guy is like literally the biggest narcissist. First of all, he's not getting harassed. This is going to be a lifetime reminder for him that you cannot do what he did and expect peace and comfort for the rest of your life, and especially after he avoided the death penalty. I think the only quiet that he deserves is for us to stop saying his name out loud.
Yeah, and you know what? Look, I don't know. He probably is getting harassed, but like we said, you killed 4 people in cold blood. You get a little harassment for the rest of your life. Tough.
Coming up.
Welcome back to the charts for Cardi B. At least that's what she's hoping with her new album, which she said is coming out next month. But today she dropped the second single from that album, a music video as well, for Imaginary Players, a remake of a Jay-Z song. And I'm pretty sure Nicki Minaj's ears will be burning.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live, and welcome back to the charts for Cardi B. At least that's what she's hoping with her new album, which she said is coming out next month. But today she dropped the second single from that album, a music video as well, for Imaginary Players, a remake of a Jay-Z song. And I'm pretty sure Nicki Minaj's ears will be burning because a lot of people think that this song is all about going after Nicki Minaj and restoking the battle that has gone on between them for years now. And maybe this is just the state of hip hop now, that if you want to really make a song pop, you got to have someone you're going up against. And Cardi is leaning into it with this song because, well, one, there's going to be the sample, and we're going to talk about why the sample is definitely a shot at Nicki. And then there are the lyrics.
Seen whole fan pages, make avatar changes. All that old love got a new fan base. Now you're 15 up, you're already out of time. I'm a legend, they gon' hit my heels from the power lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah.
That's an interesting number. Why would she mention the number 15?
Well, I mean, Nicki Minaj is 15 plus years in the game, but at the same time, Cardi's making herself guilty by association by using a Jay-Z sample, and Nicki Minaj has been going at Jay-Z and anybody associated with him for months now.
And Cardi knows that. The beef between Nicki and Jay doesn't think there's any beef.
Right.
But Nicki thinks that Jay-Z owes her money back from the Tidal streaming deal. And so she keeps going after Jay. So, yeah, Cardi knew what she was doing by using a Jay-Z sample, but then that line, and I believe, I couldn't remember, but of course I went right to Eric this morning, who pointed out that Nicki first charted in 2010, so the 15 is right on point.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
In the words of Mobb Deep, your beef is mine. So if Nicki comes at Cardi now, like, Cardi wanted it to happen.
By the way, Cardi wants that smoke, right?
I mean,
she wants Nicki to come back at her because just like Drake and Kendrick wanted to go back and forth for a couple of days.
It sells records, it sells streams, but Cardi, we've been waiting on this second album for 6 years. And so any attention, any drama that she can bring to the album is,
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Am I the drama?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the answer is yes.
I'm Antonio from Los Angeles, California, and it seems like while everyone was playing checkers, Cardi B and Jay-Z were playing chess. As a direct checkmate to the Barbs, visually the music video is beautiful. Cardi looks great, but the rap falls flat in my opinion.
Ooh. Now, are you a Barb?
Definitely a Barb.
Okay. All right. Well, see, you have to confess that before you say it, because you are obviously biased. But that's fine. And yeah, the Barbs are definitely going to have a lot to say about this, and I imagine eventually Nicki will too.
Yeah.
All right, TMZ Sports doing some in-depth reporting about something you saw and heard from Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce during the New Heights podcast, where, yes, her new album release was supposed to be the thing that got the headline. But really what we got out of this was learning so much about Taylor and Travis and Taylor and what they talk about in their private time. And one of the big things, otters. Spend a lot of time thinking about otters, and that's where TMZ Sports comes in because, Ed, there may be a future hookup at a particular famous aquarium here in California.
It's true. In Northern California, there's the Monterey Bay Aquarium. It's famous for its otters exhibit. I grew up in Northern California. I've been there multiple times. You go there and there's a lot of fish, a lot of jellyfish, but you go there for the sea otters.
Sounds like you think a lot about otters too.
I do. They're so cute.
I feel like this is the thing. I think when you were watching the New Heights podcast, you're like, oh man, I love otters too.
Anyway, so after Travis Kelce made his revelation that he's in love with sea otters, I reached out to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, as one does, because they are arguably the most famous aquarium for otters. A rep for them told me that they would like to personally invite both Kelce and Taylor Swift to the aquarium. They're welcome anytime, she said. Also, she said she wants to give him more information so he can make his 92%ers, the New Heights podcast, much more aware of sea otters going forward. And she said she loved it. She's super happy that he's bringing awareness to these otters.
Do you have the clip there where Travis, if you guys didn't see it, I mean, it was a 2-hour podcast, but
all I really use the internet for is sourdough and when Travis shows me videos of otters on his Instagram algorithm.
I want
it's an interesting animal.
I want a wild otter so bad.
He wants one specifically whose life he saved, who knows that he saved its life. He wants to see an otter, and the otter's like, my paw's caught in a shell. And he's like, I got you. And then the otter's like, thank you forever with its little paws.
And then bring him anchovies
and then it swims up, and then and you're kayaking, and it's like doing this to you. Like, that's what he wants. And I want it too.
They did a whole otter fiction. They just created a whole otter story. No, I actually think this would be kind of cool, and it would be not just a great visual, obviously. We're looking at it for content. Right. But listen, I think it's nice that he has hobbies and that there's, clearly he wants to actually learn more about them. So, I don't know, maybe in the off season, he's still got time before, he's got a couple weeks to shoot it up to Monterey.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Just tell Taylor to fire up the jet. Let's go check out some otters.
Coming up.
There are people who are shopping in the droves for Halloween. It's August, people, but there is a thing that's called Summerween, and the reason that they're doing this is there's big money in it. And if we're talking money, you know we got to bring in our guy Damon John from Shark Tank to follow the money.
Be right back.
You're going to want to grab a calendar because what we're about to talk about might make you think that we are deep into fall. It's still summer, and yet there are people who are shopping in the droves for Halloween. It's August, people, but there is a thing that's called Summerween, which is really not a very smooth name, but Summerween, people who either celebrate Halloween and have Halloween parties in the summer, or they start their shopping. And by the way, the stores out there, you may have even noticed this, they are reacting by putting out Halloween treats and Halloween decorations, costumes. It's all out there already. You can get a jump on this. And the reason that they're doing this is there's big money in it. And if we're talking money, you know we got to bring in our guy Damon John from Shark Tank to follow the money. And Damon, it looks like you might be joining the Summerween trend.
I was here at the plant, guy, actually shopping for stuff like gorillas to put on my lawn for Summerween. I love the idea of this whole Summerween thing. I'll tell you why. Because as a retailer, clothing guy, back to school used to start at the end of July. We can make our money there and predict that back to school is gone. So I love this Summerween idea.
So hold on, why is back to school gone? I mean, kids still go back to school, right?
Well, kids do go back to school, but what happened is the parents started, the retailers started putting things on discount way earlier, so you didn't have this kind of rush for back to school. You had this slow trickle in. But I got to tell you, most shopping and most holidays were created by the gift card industry in the 1900s, Mother's Day and this and that. So today, now that it's a visual world, well, the gift card industry don't really dictate that, but you know who dictates it? The retailer, because they got stuff like a push gift. They got baby moons, reveal parties, all this crap, so we can suck that wallet dry.
So this is basically about retailers saying, let's hop on this trend because we got to make sure there's always some event. You got to have event shopping.
They got to get you in the store. So let's see who's done something. So Walmart now have summer frights. Michael's has hippie Halloween. People like big Instagram influencers like Cherie Wilson and Katie Forhord and Bonnie Barton has put this out there. And what happens? Well, we are in a very Instagrammable world where people like to show their outfits and what they're doing, and how they're going to go and look for Halloween. And it's really fun. Actually, my company, Sunstash from Shark Tank, plug, has great glasses for that. By the way, it's a $12 billion season. Once Halloween's over, it's gone, right? So you got to now find out how you're going to take advantage of this. Can you sell things around this and have your own theories and your own titles and bake yourself into this and try to make some money?
Here's the problem I have with this. If you want to just go shop for stuff and you want to stock it away, you want to stash it in a back closet and wait, that's one thing. But when you start putting out, if people start decorating like their front yard or something I'll even give you Labor Day.
Yeah.
But if you do it before Labor Day, I'm sorry, as a neighbor, I'm calling somebody, there's an HOA, I'm calling and complaining, like this is, you got to draw the line somewhere. If you want to buy your stuff early and hide it, great. But don't put it out that's just.
I don't like, I get
it's
what you're saying.
ruining my summer.
You should not put it out before Labor Day, but you know what? That all went out the window once you could start wearing white any time of the year, right? So I think personally, but as we think about people, you can always get discounts right now because it's early, right? But you can also, I don't care if you have a beauty salon, if you do, once every 2 weeks, it's really a costume party, right? Preparing for Halloween, fun night, and then you start, obviously selling other kind of hairstyles and various other things and makeup tutorials with Halloween. There's a lot of business to be made. Don't let just the big retailers do it. You make sure you do it. But yes, you're right. You start putting, what was that guy?
You put your big pumpkin out on
what was the guy with the big claws? Nightmare on Elm Street.
Freddy Krueger, yeah.
You put a Freddy Krueger on your lawn August 20th, I'm on the cops.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Because now it's no longer about Halloween. Well, good luck with your shopping there.
Yeah, I'm at the plant guy. And the guy makes everything. Oh, my God. So this is Halloween itself when you come here at all given time. So
that is a fancy flamingo you got there.
Is a fancy flamingo.
Is that an actual plant?
Yeah, these are plants. These are all year round. Look at the legs on that. Got the full pink legs.
You made it sound like check out the gams on this flamingo.
Look how beautiful this place is. This is art. All right, there you go.
That is nice, man. All right, we'll talk to you next time.
Happy Halloween.
Coming up.
There could be a Real Housewives reunion in the making that nobody saw coming. We got some video that's very interesting. Dorit and PK hanging out. Someone happened to notice that they were together and thought, that's weird.
Be right back.
There could be a Real Housewives reunion in the making that nobody saw coming because Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star, that Dorit and her husband PK split up, and we've spoken to Dorit about it. We've spoken to PK about it. And while it hasn't been, I'm not going to say it's been been a nasty breakup. In fact, there have been times where early on where it sounded like they were still thinking maybe we can work things out, but that passed, right? And so it's been a while and we just thought this one's over, no big deal. It happens everywhere, but especially in the Real Housewives universe. And then we got some video that's very interesting. Dorit and PK hanging out. By the way, there are no cameras there. This is not something they're shooting. Just someone happened to notice that they were together and thought, that's weird. And it is weird.
It is weird. It's their first sighting together since she filed for divorce in April.
Right. And initially I remember her saying like, well, I'm not saying, she said, I'll never say never to us getting back together.
Right.
But then that changed.
Yeah.
And so what's going on here?
I mean,
the kids weren't there either, so this wasn't like a...
Yeah, it was just the two of them. Witnesses told us that the two looked relaxed and in great spirits, and then we're also being told from their sides that this was nothing romantic. They are co-parenting. Of course, they have their two kids.
Oh, so even though the kids weren't there, they were basically getting together to talk about issues with the kids. So
the divorce is still on.
Sorry, no reunion.
Hey, this is Maddie. I'm calling in from New York City. This is a huge deal for the Bravo fan community. You know, looking back on last season, seeing Dorit Kemsley, you know, entering into that G-Wagon, you know, smoking a butt going down the freeway after filing for divorce from PK. You know, that was full body chills. But I am a little disappointed that no cameras were filming this interaction between the two of them. But I'm very excited they're in a good spot and very and happy to see what happens next for Dorit on this upcoming season.
Yeah, they don't, shocker, they don't actually record everything that happens in their lives. Some of it is kind of planned out. Not scripted, just planned out. What else do you guys want to talk about?
Hi, I'm Dina. I'm from Los Angeles, and I'm going to be discussing Travis Kelce's love for otters.
Okay.
I think that this is just very on brand for Travis Kelce, very wholesome. And I think that it's great that a celebrity that has such a huge platform is bringing attention to animals that have such a big impact on the environment.
Sounds like you know quite a bit about otters yourself.
A little.
One more.
Hi, I'm Jamila, and I'm in Reno, Nevada, and I'm going to be talking about Halle Berry and David Justice. Honestly, if he wanted someone that was going to mother him, he should have probably looked for someone not working full-time, not working in the industry. This was right at the height of her career. Very, very busy. I honestly think that she was not trying to come home from set to cook meals, to clean, to mother this man. So, yeah. Look for him.
Yeah, I think that if he had it to do over, I think he would look at it differently. I would hope he would look at it differently and just be happy you're with Halle Berry, man. Just be happy.
Coming up.
Dua Lipa is enjoying a little vacation over in Ibiza. To me, doing yoga on dry land is impressive, but to do it while floating on a paddleboard and not fall over?
Be right back.
Well, Dua Lipa is enjoying a little vacation over in Ibiza, but she's one of those people who, when she's on vacation, actually exercises. I think there are that's just two different camps. When you go on vacation, do you exercise or do you just relax? She is doing some exercise, but I know that the photographers and probably some other tourists in the area were very happy that she decided to do her yoga on a stand-up paddleboard. To me, doing yoga on dry land is impressive, but to do it while floating on a paddleboard and not fall over. By the way, her fiance, Callum Turner, the actor, is there as well. For some reason, nobody took photos of him. I can't imagine why. I mean, he's right there. Yeah, we can all imagine why. That is going to do it for us. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.